Alright, how's it going everyone? Welcome back to Goodnight Punpun. So, I'm actually recording this a day after the last video, which was part 2, so a couple of things are still fresh in my mind, unlike last time where I recorded part 2 like months after I finished recording part 1. Again, I apologize, but we are back for some more Goodnight Punpun. I'm trying my best to keep this on a pretty steady schedule. And I'm hoping to basically finish all of Punpun soon. Videos will still be released weekly as usual, which means I guess maybe 3 months to finish all of Punpun. But I hope by now, and this is, if future me keeps up with this consistency, but hopefully by now there will be a few videos of Punpun already available on the Patreon. So if you want to watch those videos, you can get it on early access over there. Plus, it supports the channel and it supports me. So kindly appreciate it if you do end up doing it. But besides that, we are back for some more Goodnight Punpun. Last time on part 2, we went on a little adventure in the beginning, but it's mostly an adventure of self-discovery and self-realization, right? Especially for Punpun. Going from gaining friends in the beginning of part 2, or more like having their bond more stronger, right? With all of those experiences, especially during when they went to the factory and suddenly it exploded, to losing friends and those bonds by the end of part 2 when one of their friends had to move away. And then of course Aiko and that incident, which kind of sucks. But on the other hand, I don't know if that's a good thing or if that's a bad thing. Because as the audience, as the reader, we know that Aiko isn't, this pure soul that Punpun paints her to be. But for Punpun, that is her image. His image, I would say, his image of her. So to lose that, and to realize that she has moved on, but although I would argue that she has not actually moved on as well. I don't know, it definitely makes these two characters like really shine compared to everybody else. I mean, Punpun obviously he is the titular character, but Aiko has done a spectacular and tremendous job as the secondary character that is basically like a catalyst for Punpun's like development, right? Because without her, Punpun cannot develop. At least for now, his development is, kind of in this like weird middling spot of like, is he really developing into somebody who is more mature, or is he, still this young child who hasn't moved on yet, who unfortunately is still stuck in the past and still trying to grasp that past, right, within Aiko. So we shall see. We shall see. I think that's pretty much it. Actually, part 2, we end off with Aiko being with a boyfriend, right? I don't know if he is. Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious that these two are together, but we don't know like the extent of their relationship. But they're pretty close. They're holding hands, and when they're holding hands, only what was his name again? Taguchi, I believe, is the only one holding her hand, whereas Aiko is, only letting him hold her hand, but she's not actually holding his hand. So that's interesting. And of course, Punpun notices this and, got his heart broken. So we shall see where things go, and we shall see like where these two characters will end up by the end of this part. So 10 chapters, 24 to 34. like I mentioned, hopefully by the time you're watching this on YouTube, there will be like some videos of Punpun already available on Patreon for early access. Hopefully. So again, if you want to check that out, if you want to support me, and you want to watch like next videos of Punpun, then links are in the description. Anyways, let's get on with Goodnight Punpun. We begin with Punpun developing bonds with his friends, and then we slowly take those away, right? Punpun slowly losing friends. Even the new ones that he made, right, with Yaguchi, just gone. because afterward they're like, hey, Punpun, yeah, if I win this tournament, Aiko's all mine. Okay. So yeah, and it's being like paralleled or juxtaposed with Yuichi, Punpun's uncle, in the second half of this part, where he's dealing with this new character that we just met, Midori Okuma, 25 years old, few years younger than him, right? And it's like there's a clear difference between like Yuichi's relationship situation and Punpun's, right? Punpun is all about like, hey, obsession. I want to be with you. You? Aiko? You? You're my one and only girl. I want you. Please. Don't leave me, please. Be with me, please. I want you, please. And then he makes up all these like lies and fooling himself into thinking like, oh, don't worry about Yaguchi, don't worry about like them, don't worry about Aiko, right? She's probably feeling this and that, you know, just trying to fit into his own narrative, right? And then we have Yuichi, who is like the complete total opposite, going like, no, don't come close to me. I am a piece of shit of a human being. I'm not a good person. I am a terrible person. You may think I'm a good person because of what you see I do, but deep down I am a horrible person, and he just spout out every horrible thing that he does towards Okuma. Even going like, hey, so yeah, I masturbated like before we go on our date, right? I'm despicable. I'm a terrible human being. I am disgusting. Why are you trying to be with me? Why are you trying to get close to me? Leave me alone. If you get closer to me, then you're only gonna hurt yourself, right? And I talked about the head shock dilemma and whatever. So it's like these two characters, right? I'm starting to enjoy Yuichi's like subplot a lot more, right? Because it's not just Punpun anymore. It's also Yuichi, because these final few chapters of part 3, right? These chapters, they're all focusing on him, right? We're focusing on him, his date with Okuma, and then his backstory, right? And oh boy, that backstory really but it does put into question, like, when Yuichi says like, no, I'm a disgusting human being, I'm a terrible person, right? And what happened in the past? What did he do, right? Especially with that girl that clearly came to him to seek help, right? That girl, that's the 16-year-old girl, right? Was being abused by his parents. And again, I think I talked about this in part 2, but Punpun has this very, very thematic element, like this thematic thread throughout its story so far, and that is children having just the most terrible parents ever, right? And I get and I understand why it's the case. I understand why Inio Asano is trying to depict adults and parents in general as these people who are like terrible, shitty, and you know, like for us the reader, almost unforgivable and weird, and like, no, I don't want to be with you, I don't want to get close to you. You're weird. You're terrible. You're treating these kids like tools and whatever and like no. But that's why you have Yuichi, right? Yuichi is like that one character of those stereotypes that is trying to be different, even though he himself admitted to saying that, hey, no, don't come close to me again. Like I said, right? I'm just like all the other people. I'm just like all the other adults here. I'm a terrible human being. Why are you trying to get to me, right? So it's like this great dynamic between all of these characters, and I'm really, really appreciating it. And of course, like I was saying, right, the fact that most of the adults and parents of this manga is portrayed this way is because, of course, this is a coming of age story. We're focusing more on the kids. Those shitty behaviors that we see may not necessarily be, like the factual truth, right? These are from the perspective and the perception of children, right? Maybe they are over-exaggerated. Heck, even the teachers are over-exaggerated in the first part, right? Like they are almost caricatures in a way, right? So I'm going to assume, again, just assumptions, but I would love it if the more we progress to the story and the more our characters mature, the more the adults just feel normal, right? Because right now, the adults feel like absolute pieces of shit, right? So I want to see like what happens. Or maybe once we do time skip more and more and we get, our characters grow more and more. I mean, at this point, fuck, it's a given. Our characters are gonna be like pieces of shit as well. Shit. Like, Punpun's gonna grow up, Aiko's gonna grow up, everybody's gonna grow up, and then we just see them as miserable adults. Shit. I can see it happening. And I don't want it, I hate it. Oh boy. But yeah. I think I really enjoyed the first half of the of this part, and I really, really dig the second half. Like, the stuff with Punpun carries over from like what we left off before, but the stuff with Yuichi is something that I wasn't expecting, and I really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it so far. Plus, we are introduced to this new character, Midori Okuma. She seems really sweet and pure and cute. Why? Because she is also, in a way, an adult. She is mature, right? Compared to like everybody else, compared to like the children, right? Oh, lots of great stuff in this. Lots of great stuff in this part. A few self-loading parts, a few like uplifting moments as well. Like really great stuff. Really great stuff. Honestly, I'm kind of more interested in Yuichi's like storyline more than Punpun. So right now, just for this moment, because I'm really invested in this backstory and I want to see where it goes. Right? The Punpun stuff, it can wait. It can wait. Heck, you're the main character. You have like a few more volumes left. A lot actually, to flesh out your story. That's fine. But for now, I'm kind of more interested in Yuichi's like storyline. I think I want to see what happens next for him. Oh boy. I think that's pretty much it for my small little review for this part of Goodnight Punpun. Again, like I said, if you enjoyed my reaction, my discussion, my voice is starting to crack up. But if you do enjoy it, hit the like, subscribe. There should be early access over at Patreon. And that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Take care, everyone.